Hello friends, Dale here, playing some more Harvest Moon in the Lost Valley, and the last two episodes were kind of heavy, and I was talking about stuff that I'm not able to do or really bad at doing, and so today I'm going to talk about something I'm good at doing, but first let's load up the game. Here we go, pop it open, get my, whoa. This is a little weird because last time there were not that many options in the menu. Maybe I clicked a different menu or something to get to the same place. Anyway, as you know, I play through my OBS preview window, so I have to like maximize it, like full screen it before I start playing. So it's kind of like playing on my monitor. I mean, it is playing on my monitor, but anyway, today's topic. Well, first we'll see if anything happens when we wake up. We'll see if we see, I think Naomi is the lady we keep seeing in our dreams, but we don't actually like run into her ever. No, there she is again. What are we supposed to do with this dream? Let's see if someone shows up today though. Maybe it'll be her. Oh, it's animal guy. I never actually went in the animal barn. I just built it. He's already stuck. I think his name's Hunter. Y'all seen any cows? Again, they really go over the top with the characters. I think I did marry him because he's also in Seeds of Memories. I think I married him in Seeds of Memories. Oh, there's just a cow. Is he just going to give us the cow? Because that would be cool. Okay. Oh my gosh, we have to name the cow. No, this is so hard. This is so hard. We're gonna name her Crystal because I have a bottle of water next to me called Crystal Quenchers. That's like a store brand. Crystal Quenchers. I also like Sailor Moon Crystal. I actually don't really like Sailor Moon Crystal that much. It did get a lot better in season 3, but I like Sailor Moon in general. So yeah, it's Crystal. Okay, yeah, if you guys have animal names, comment them, please, because I am so bad at coming up with animal names. Okay, he's gonna teach me, how to take care of animals. Okay. Okay, he's giving us animal food. We get a pitch for. He's just giving us everything. So one interesting thing that Natsume added to their games is you clean the poop of the animals. Yeah, I'm ready. I'll mosey on over. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays. Okay. I do normally name my first cow Opal, so I don't know why I didn't name my cow Opal, but I kind of panicked. But yay, we got a cow. So let's get on to the discussion topic that I was going to talk about. So yeah, I was talking about things I'm bad at. So today, let's talk about something I'm good at, and that is learning languages. I think I just love languages. I'm pretty proficient in Japanese. I was able to do a little bit of a let's play in Japanese. You know, I can understand Japanese media pretty well. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can't do. I also haven't really been using it. That's something I really need to get back into. I think I talked about that in a previous video. But I'm pretty good at it. And I learned Korean in college, and then I've taught myself bits of German and Chinese, and I did learn some Spanish in high school. But I've always been the top of my class at language classes and language courses. But importantly, you know, it's not hard to get a good grade in a language course, at least to me. Like, I don't think that's really hard, but you can get a good grade in a language course and not really learn a language. So I have had people on multiple occasions ask me how to get better at learning languages. An important thing, or not an important thing, but a thing that I'm interested in is the process of self-learning languages. And I have tried many things in the past. What? Oh, I got the spinach. I'm supposed to give the spinach to Luke. And you know, different things can work for different people. But I think I found, when I last tried to learn Chinese, I tried to learn Chinese in the past. I've tried to learn Arabic before. Was not very good at it. But I might try to learn again now with this new kind of mindset that I have when I taught myself some Chinese, which I did end up giving up kind of early, but that's because a lot of stuff happened in my life, and I really couldn't keep up on doing it. And this wasn't really that long ago. I think I gave up in like February, and it's like August now, so it was earlier this year. So I might have given up like in March. So but I like started it maybe like in January. Yeah, I think I started at the beginning of the year. So I think that was like my New Year's resolution, was to teach myself Chinese. And then I quit like in March. So I didn't get very far. But my progress was really good for the short time I was doing it. And I think that with most languages, like what I did could probably work. And what I did to teach myself Chinese was, first I found a course that could teach me the very, very basics. I don't recommend using those like learning apps like Duolingo and stuff, because those are based around getting you to come back and like log in and spend money and stuff, and they're less about actually learning languages. And let's see if anyone like is here. No, just Sam again. Okay, let's walk. Oh, it goes this way. Yeah, I tried to make this cool design. I don't even know how it works. So we got Crystal here. But yeah, the first thing I did was find a course. Try to find like an online course. You can even find like a really good resource is to go to like a university website and find like the syllabus for their course. And you can even like should I buy a chick? Let's buy a chick. Why not? Select a barn. Do I have to like upgrade my barn to be able to raise chicks or something? Let's name the barn. Maybe that's why. Cadence was the first word that came to my head, so we'll name it Cadence. Okay. And the barn's more off. Get a lot peaceful. Let's buy the chicken. Select a barn. We can't. I'm gonna send this to Natsume later, like on their Discord, and like ask if anyone else is having this problem. And I'll check some guides and stuff. But speaking of guides, yeah, like go to a university website and let's see if I can get milk. I can. Yay! I got. Whoa, that milk is huge. Oh, pat again. Okay. So now we'll go see if there's anyone at the gun spot. So, and you can see, like, you can usually find a free syllabus. And some universities offer, like, free, like, beginner courses to a lot of stuff. Like, just find some kind of, like, structured course that can teach you, like, the extreme basics. Like, just get you started. I think once you can, like, say, like, a really basic sentence, then you usually have enough to start learning on your own without any like structured course or anything. So with Chinese, I learned on a website called Yo-Yo Chinese, and it's not like super great of a course even really, but I just went through their like free courses, and I learned how to say a couple really basic things, and that's I learned how to say like a few basic phrases and sentences, and then I kind of understood like the basics of how the language works. And this is going to be easier if you're going for languages that are more similar to a language you already know, whereas something like Chinese coming from English is like really different. So I really needed to get that kind of basic foundation. But if you're going from something English to like German, then like it'll be pretty easy. Like you might not have to go very far to find that that kind of basic idea. Like just understand like a very, very basic idea of like the structure of the language. Like the order, because I don't know what they call this. Like, it's been so long since I've studied linguistics, like formally, that I don't remember what it's called. But languages have like an order of subject, verb, and object, and some of them do it in different. Like those three things will come in different order depending on the language, and like kind of figure out what that is and how to say a few phrases, and then you're good to start learning on your own. What I did was I found a Chinese grammar wiki and just find some kind of grammar resource and start learning the most basic grammar things you can learn. And then you want to start learning vocabulary while you're doing this. I think the easiest thing to do is to find some flashcards of the 2,000 most common words in the language. And once you learn like 2,000 common words, you can talk about a lot of stuff if you know the 2,000 most common words in a language. This is where I want it to end, and then I want this all to be one level higher. But that's a pretty solid foundation, is 2,000 words. But you need to be able to know how to use those words, and you can take the words really slow, and just kind of work on that. And then while you're like kind of grinding out these grammar points and 2,000 words, you need to find some kind of like input. And this is where people have differing opinions. What was really working for me was a mix of comprehensible input and like above my level input. And what I mean by comprehensible input is stuff where you understand almost everything. And so for me, I found like these videos online that were just like graded readers are really good. Those are not videos, but graded readers are really nice to help you like read. And you can find these for like any language, graded readers. And then I don't remember exactly what they're called, the videos, but I found videos that were basically like graded readers, but in video format. And basically these are like structured for beginners. And just kind of like read those and watch those over and over. And if you don't understand a part, look it up. I really have no idea what I'm doing here. I wanna get rid of all of this. You know, so if you don't understand a word, look that word up in a dictionary. If you don't understand a grammar point, try to figure it out in your wiki. And don't try to do anything that goes over your head. Like, don't like force too much at once. Like, try take your time, do things that seem easy. If you're doing kind of a general input, not like a comprehensible input, but you're doing like, oh, I'm gonna need a way to get up here though. Can I get up here from over here? Yeah, okay, so I can start taking this down. So another thing I did, this is kind of all over the place, like, I'm sorry. But another thing I did was I played games in Chinese, and I watched Chinese dramas with Chinese subtitles. Like, don't use translations. Like, stay away from translation as much as you can. You should be consuming content and learning things in the native language. And this is actually another really good point that I want to bring up, is that languages do not work as translations of one another. Like, Chinese is not like a cipher for English where you like sub in different words and then it just means something, the same thing. Like, it's a completely different way of expression. And you like, they just translation is like a tool to help people understand each other, but like languages don't actually like naturally translate into one another. Translation is like a skill that's like completely beyond learning a language. Like, don't translate things. Like, and when you learn a new word, for example, in your target language, so like, let's say, we'll use Japanese. That's a popular language that people like to learn, especially people who are into games. And this is a gaming channel, so. So like, let's say you learn the word natsu, which means like summer. You know, I'm translating it now for like, to help you like understand what the word means, and that's an example of a word, like it's the season of summer. That's an example of a word that has a really simple translation, but like once you hear that word summer, like after like you hear the words like summer and natsu, like never again when you hear the word natsu, you should never ever think of the word summer. Like, that should never come into your head. Like, you should use that word one time to learn the meaning of natsu, and then from then on out, natsu should mean to you, you know, the beach and the sun and like the feelings that come with natsu. Like, it should be like an idea that's in your head, you know. And like, if the word is like neko is like a lot of people know that word. Like, it means cat. But when you first learn neko means cat, you use the word cat to help you know what neko means. But after that, you should envision pictures of that particular animal and never the word cat. If when you're reading even at the very, very beginning, when you're reading your very first, like, graded reader, that's like mom goes to restaurant, mom eats food, mom says yummy. Like, all of those words, outside of the first time you learned them, you should never ever translate them ever, not even in your head, to yourself. Like, don't translate. And like, sometimes, like, there will be times when you have to translate something, like maybe to explain something to someone else, or like to help you understand like something like fuller, or something. You might translate a few things, like, because maybe like the structure is really complicated and it might help you kind of piece it together. Like, maybe I could see doing it in that case. But like, if you are using a resource where it has like a sentence in your target language, and then it has like what each of the words mean in English, like, that's a bad resource. Like, do not use that resource to learn that language. Like, you should never think of your target language in translation. Translation is a skill that you can learn after you're already very proficient in that language. Because what you're doing when you translate, what you should be doing when you translate, is not taking individual words, finding a dictionary equivalent of them, and then matching them up into a sentence. And then like not only is that really literal and bad translation anyway, like, but that's usually like the meaning is like different. Like, what you want to actually do, like what translation really is you hear an entire concept, you get that feeling and idea in your head, and then you express it in another language, regardless of what the original words used were. Like, translation is something much more than just matching up dictionary words to each other and putting them in the right order based on grammar rules. Like, that's not just like, I think that's called transliteration or something like that. That's like a very, very skewed idea of what translation really is. And basically, it's a skill well beyond getting proficiency in your language and your target language, and you should not be working on translating. And you should not be translating in your head ever, even from the very beginning. Like, that's the thing I want you to know the most. All that other stuff was kind of like a mixed up idea of how I got to the area, and I didn't really explain it very well. If you want to talk more about language, I do have language sections on my Discord, so come join the Discord, and I'm in there, and you can talk to me about language anytime. I'm more than happy to talk about language with you guys in there. But that's the description if you want to check out the Discord. So definitely do that. It'd probably be hard to have a discussion like through comments on YouTube, so maybe don't comment. I mean, you can if you want, if that's how you're comfortable talking, but it will be harder to have that because it can get pretty complicated, this kind of discussions. But yeah, basically, just never be translating. Start learning 2,000 core words, basic grammar, get comprehensible input. I also like using advanced input, and just kind of, when you see things you don't understand, like, use that as your guide as what you're going to focus on learning next. Some people don't like using flashcards for the 2,000 words. Some people just go in just reading graded readers, watching beginner comprehensible input stuff, and just picking up what they pick up. I think that works too. That's actually what I've been moving towards with my Japanese studies. Like, I call it studies, but it's more like practice anymore, because my level is, I think I've talked about this in another video, my level is high enough that it's not really like, I guess it's always study, but study sounds so formal. Whereas I'm more just, I'm not even going to make like a flashcards and stuff. I'm just gonna, if I don't understand something, I'll look it up, try to keep it in my head, eventually, after enough times, you don't have to look it up anymore. The advantage of flashcards is they substitute in more times for you to see it, so you don't have to encounter it in the wild as much. But yeah, anyway, don't translate. I'm sorry that the rest of that was such a mess. It probably didn't help that much, but if you take anything away from this video, is to do not translate. And if you're getting into learning a language because you want to use it for translation, like the reason I wanted to learn Japanese is because I wanted to work in video game localization, realize that that is a skill that will come much later. And if you are translating, make sure what you're doing is you're fully understanding what you're reading without translating, or reading or hearing or whatever. Yeah, the reading and hearing. It's going to be one of those. But make sure you're fully understanding it without translating it at all. And then you're able to express it back in English or whatever language you're translating into. But don't focus so much on translating in the beginning. Like, translating is bad for learning languages. Like, you don't want to translate. And that's another reason I don't like Duolingo, is because the only way they could really test you is to have you translate. I don't really like that. So yeah, if you're studying on your own, basically all you should be doing is just consuming the language as much as you can and not translating it. Only use translation for that very beginning to learn a new word or concept. Like, use the translation to give you that idea, and then completely forget the translation. Like, kick it out of your head. Like, I had a friend in the past who just learned a bunch of words and in translation and learned them as like strict translations, and then like when they would try to like read something, this was in Japanese, they would like read one word, then say the English translation for, like, they'd take a whole sentence, like say each word, say one word in Japanese, then say the English translation for it, then say the next word, then say the English translation for it, and then they would just kind of like mash together some kind of made up meaning based on like each of those words that they had remembered saying, and it would be nothing like what the original thing was saying anyway, and like they never got anywhere, and they never understood why they couldn't understand Japanese, and why after learning like supposedly 4,000 kanjis and 4,000 words and reading grammar books and stuff, that they couldn't put together the most basic sentence. They couldn't understand a book written for babies. Like, they couldn't understand Japanese at all. That's because all they were doing was translating and learning with translation and relying on translation. And that's like detrimental to your language learning. So please do not translate. This is like the longest video I've made out because I can't stress it enough. Don't translate, people. Yeah, we gotta get out of here and move to another video. So if you want to talk language more and kind of and want me to I can help you kind of find like maybe some kind of way that works better for you to self-study. Like, I'm willing to help with that to an extent, like help you kind of get an idea of what might work for you, and then you can do it on your own. I'm not gonna like be your teacher or your guide or anything. I can't. That's too much for me. But come join the Discord and we'll talk about it. Other than that, I will see you guys later. If you know any languages besides English, let me know, because that's cool. Comment those, and I'll let you know if I've ever studied them before. Because I've kind of dabbled in a lot of different languages, but I'm not really good at any of them. Just really Japanese. I used to be really good at Korean, and then like German and Chinese, I'm good at them when I'm studying them, and then I forget them all because I don't do them long enough to like maintain them, and then I forget it because I go too long between studying and I don't get to a high enough level that I like really retain it. But it does come back fast. But oh my gosh, we're over 30 minutes now. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye bye.